Get us ready. Denise Boutté, you already know
Hey.
why I'm here with you today. I'm not even about to talk about how many projects you have going on this year because I'm probably going to mess it up. You have been busy since 2004, and that's all I can get from IMDb. Nearly 2 decades in this business, and every year you've been working, you've done something. That anybody listening, go to IMDb, you'll see the credits go down, down, down,
I
down,
feel
down.
so grown. I don't say the word old. I feel so grown to say 2 decades. Like that makes no sense. Like to me, that honestly makes no sense, especially because this was not my trajectory in life. This was not the plan that Denise had in her mind for what I would be doing with my life 20 years down the road. Like this makes no sense.
So tell me the plan, because even with this trajectory, your career in entertainment expands in voiceovers and in the DC universe, and then from Tyler Perry to soap opera. So you are that actress where it's like, I don't know if Denise is playing herself, because most of your roles you come in very assertive. You have these looks. Your roles aren't like, there are certain ones where I'm like, she never plays broke, really. She never plays broke. She always plays employed, or somebody else is gonna be employed.
Well, the last few movies I've been broke in, okay? She may have a little money, but she get broke in, okay? The chick get laid out or whatever, some way. So yes, I'm very versatile that way. Very versatile that way. But yeah, I mean, dude, it's an honor and a blessing and a privilege that people like feel that I can pull all this stuff off. I mean, I'll just tell you that much because it's true. I think I will get pigeonholed, I guess you would say, for a time, but then I'll just do one thing or whatever that make people like, oh, that's what she is. That's what she does or whatever. And you know what? I just roll with it. As long as God presents it and puts it in my lap, I'm like, all right, so this is obviously the ball I'm supposed to be, playing with right now. So that's kind of how my career has been. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, there's no rhyme or reason as to how I got into this business. There's no rhyme or reason as to how, these opportunities present themselves. There's nothing. Like I could have never told you or whatever, this is what I've been doing, 2 decades later, but God put me in the right place. I listened, I was obedient, and I was like, I don't know what you're trying to do with me or why are you trying to put me in this precarious situation or whatever, because I can't plan this. I can't put this in this is what I like.
Yeah.
Denise likes a planner. She likes to put her bullet points and her highlights and all that stuff
You're
and
Earth
know
sign.
what's
You're an
happening.
Earth sign, aren't you?
Huh?
Are you an Earth sign?
I'm a Capricorn.
That's what it is. See, look, no one can steer you off of that path. Oh my God.
Nope. But
Nobody.
God and
Oh
my professional life. My
God.
professional life. That's why I got to keep my home life or whatever as chill as possible. You know what I'm saying? Got my stuff in my crock pot or whatever. Got my split pea soup in my crock pot. My jazz playing in the background. As long as my personal life seems very copacetic, I can handle the cray cray or whatever on the professional side. But yeah, that's who I am. I'm control free. And if you see me on set and look at my notes and stuff, you were just like, whose like script is this? Whose side is it? I'm just like, oh, there's none. I control as much as I can, but I can't. And that's the beauty of being an actor. I can't plan it. I really and truly, I can make all the notes I want, but once I get on set and I'm talking and interacting with that other character or whatever, I can't plan or predict it. So you make all those notes and prepare. Then afterwards, that's what, they teach you. Drop it and let it go. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're responding and vibing with the person across from you. All that stuff needs to just go out of the window and you just make it happen.
Wow. So since this wasn't your trajectory, what was before you got into this? Were you planning on being a lawyer, a doctor? Were you supposed to go straight to college and have the Huxtable life?
I wanted to just get out of Louisiana. That was my motivation. I was like, you guys are small-minded and you think in a box and all this stuff. So my parents or whatever, I don't come from wealth at all or whatever. I knew in order to go to school elsewhere, I needed a scholarship. So I worked my first off or whatever, I know this is, probably a Christian program, so I'm gonna try not to because I like to speak some 4-letter words, but I'm gonna try to keep it.
Oh, no, we are unapologetic over here. You can speak it. I don't want, like, the thing is, I don't edit when we do these interviews. People are seeing us in real time. There's no
okay. Good.
It just takes away from, like, I want you to feel like you were sitting right in the room with us. You know what I mean? One of those things where like, you said that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you. So I work my ass off.
Oh, look, you did.
So I got a scholarship to LSU, okay? And I thought I didn't know what I wanted to be, okay? I didn't know. But in my mind, this is how pathetic it was or whatever. I wasn't exposed to a lot, okay? So anytime I heard a parent proud of their kid, they were either a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I want to make my parents proud and I want to be a success. I'm going to be a doctor. Dude, halfway through my first semester, I was like, this is a mess. What am I doing?
Y'all are serious. You're looking around like, y'all want to do this?
What the hell was I just doing this mess? So in a dormitory with all these awesome people and new personalities, I didn't go to sleepovers when I was a kid. My parents didn't allow that stuff. So here I am, just like in, the gift or whatever, being around all these new and amazing people and these strong women, right? Mm-hmm. And one of my girlfriends down the hallway was like, I'm in communications. I'm like, well, shit, I can talk. So I accompanied her to one of her classes. And I was like, this is it. I'm supposed to be here. Then I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be an anchor woman. So I interned at one of the local news stations. I was like, yeah, I'm not meant to be an anchor woman. I can't read the teleprompter. Okay. So then I interned at an advertising agency and then another one in Dallas, Texas. That's where I fit in. And I was doing that for over 5 years until the Lord started showing me sign after sign that I was supposed to be someplace else. And so that's kind of how I fell into the world of acting or whatever. I thought I was going to be a broadcaster. Then when that didn't work out, I was in advertising on the pitch team or whatever, which I thoroughly enjoyed because it was kind of like acting, soliciting new accounts and stuff like that. So it was fun for me.
You have to act interested, huh? You have to act interested in their product. Hey, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. You guys have to, you meet this. And you're like,
and that's the whole thing. I was selling our business or whatever. Like, we can take care of you. We can make sure that you make the statement. And it was fun. And I guess that was kind of part of it. My entertainment, aspirations or whatever. I guess, that was an outlet of sorts, which I never really thought of it as such until now. But it was just one thing after another. You know how they say, you let go and you let God or whatever. I didn't see him as signs. It was only in hindsight that I was like, God got me out of my comfort zone. Mm-hmm. Like, I would have never pursued this. It would have never entered my mind if it weren't for certain people and things to just align properly and manifest in ways that, like I said, in the moment, I had no idea what was going on. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed what I was doing for a living. I thoroughly enjoyed advertising. I was an account director. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I was just like, oh, I'm a low on the totem pole. No, I was doing good.
And your money was good too, huh? You have to follow God if you're going to go to an industry where you don't know when your next paycheck is coming.
Oh, and that's what I didn't like. Mr. Capricorn was like, no. I need to know I'm going to pay my rent. I don't pay my car note. Like, I need to know these things, right? So this made no sense for me. But after a while, it was just like the different clients, the first one being Pampers. They're like, I know you guys cast somebody, but my boss at the time, okay, so I was a low man on the totem pole at that one. And they were like, you know what? I see the girls you guys cast, but you know what? Denise has to look that weird. And my boss comes to me. She's like, hey, look, client wants you to actually do this, diapers ad. And I'm just like, yeah, no, that's so like nice and stuff. But no, I don't do that. They're like, oh, yes, you did.
Yes, you do. You didn't read the fine print. When it says like, other things will be required of you.
Dude, I was like, for real though? So I had to go. They released the girl and paid her. Okay, I got $1 because legally they had to pay me something. Okay, I put on her clothes and I'm playing with a dang baby on a blanket all day, and I'm just like, dude, this is a mess. But then it kept happening and happening. And the last place I worked was at Fossil that does the purses and the watches and all that fun stuff, right? Well, they were launching a clothing line. So several of us, to cut down on costs or whatever, we actually did their print pieces that went up in some of the stores. Well, a local talent agency in Dallas saw this stuff and reached out and asked whether or not we would be interested in being represented. We're taking a meeting. I took the meeting. We laughed at it at lunch. We were just like, oh my God, this is hilarious. This is never going to happen. Well, from that meeting, I started getting booked. As I started getting booked, the young woman who became my manager, and by the way, I'm still with her partner till this day.
Oh, wow.
That is my first and only manager, right? She comes and does my headshot. She was from Gun Barrel, Texas, Suze Lanier. She said, I think you have what it takes. I have connections. If you come out or whatever, and you can stay with me, I will only have this house for a second because I think I'm going to lose it in my divorce. I will only have this house for a second, but if you come, I will put you in a position to where you will meet people. And I think it's your duty or whatever to get out to Los Angeles. So needless to say, this woman gave me a free place to stay for 6 months. I took care of her dog and cooked. Okay. That's all I did. Okay. In the heart of Hollywood. Okay. Is where I stayed. And I couldn't say no. I got to plan everything. The Lord put the proper pieces of the puzzle together when they needed to, in order for me to be like, I don't want to do this, but you're giving me no choice.
Yeah.
You know, God, you're telling me something. This does not feel good and this is not comfortable, but I owe it to you to figure out what this is and why it is that you're pushing me in this direction that I don't want to go in. And if I were not, quote, obedient to that, I wouldn't be sitting here today. Wow. Okay. That's all there is to it. If he hadn't put the proper pieces of the puzzle together to make me be like, I don't want to, but okay. You know, I wouldn't be here today.
Nice. You know, I would love to say, especially because a lot of people feel like they see these signs, but yours was about being uncomfortable, you know? And when you hear a lot of stories, everyone says that that uncomfortable moment where either people give up or they don't move, you know, it's like, because they're right when did you, with that uncomfortness, how did you know that was God telling you that, you know, like Denise, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. This is why. What was that uncomfortable feeling compared to that comfort feeling you had?
It was just, you couldn't ignore it. It was just, there were so many quote signs or whatever. And I was just like, well, he's speaking to me. Obviously he's talking to me. He's telling me something. And my biggest regret, what would be my biggest regret in life is to be looking back at that moment, you know, and be like, what if?
Yeah.
I don't ever, you know, of course it's gonna happen. I mean, we there are opportunities we've all passed our web and you're like, I wonder what would have happened if. But I did not want that to be something that, you know, when I'm at the nursing home or whatever, because I know my daughter's not going to take care of me.
They usually say daughters do take care of, you know, they say, like,
yeah, I don't know. She feisty. She like what I'm doing.
She gonna be like, you got somebody, go.
I toned it down a little bit. No, she's gonna have me right at Happy Hill Acres in my, you know, on the patio playing bingo.
Oh, you made me think of Golden Girls, Shady Grove.
No, my daughter is not going to keep me. So I didn't want to be at Happy Acres, like looking and wishing and wondering what could have been. You know, if I not stepped out on faith and out of my comfort zone, what might have been. Mm-hmm. And that was my motivation. And so I gave myself a year or two, which probably would have came and manifested into 3, because we're like, oh my God, I'm so close. I'm just going to stay. Because that's what happens. You know, people just like, if I just give it 1 more year, oh my God, how do you know that if you would have pulled the plug or whatever, that wasn't right before your big break, you know, was coming? But I'd given myself, you know, 1.5 years, 2 years or whatever, so that if nothing major happened within that time, my plan was to go back to the profession that I thoroughly enjoyed. Okay. And within that year and a half is when Meet the Browns came and Why Did I Get Married came. And it just was like, okay, I guess I'm supposed to do this. Oh my God. You know, that's kind of what started happening. But I would say a couple months after I got here, I got a horror movie. And that was what the jobs they call work for food and footage, where you don't really get much money. You get craft services and footage.
Hey, you got to start somewhere, right? I mean, this day and age, people feel like they need to get paid now, and it's just like, everybody you have to pay your dues, some shape or form.
Okay. And 99.9% of us are not Ashton Kutcher, who I think his first, what do you call it? His first audition was, what was it called? Not 30 Rock. I forgot, but that was his first audition. I think it was that he landed his first series.
Oh, wow. Oh, that 70s show, that one.
That 70s. Okay, yeah. There you go. That 70s show.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, look, I knew it had a number in there somewhere. But it's just part of the game. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna, and I think people know that by now. Folks say that all the time, but I think until you're in this, situation, you really don't get much, you know what I'm saying, to show for it, at least not in your bank account. But you're so hungry. I mean, that's the beauty of being new and fresh and just having the stars in your eyes, is that you kind of don't care. You're kind of at the point where you're just hungry for work. You're hungry for exposure, hungry for the experience. And that's what you got. You know what I'm saying? I was happy for them Cheetos, and I was happy that I could have something to put on my reel and potentially get, an agent or whatever after that. That's what motivates you, and that's what fuels your fire. Now, once you've grown and you win the game for a minute, you like, okay, now hold up. I got bills to pay. Okay. So
I can't look. You give me some Cheetos on top of my rate.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we got to negotiate right now. Okay. That's what we
And I want Fiji, not Aquafina.
Okay.
Look, after a couple of shows, after you've been on some soap operas and movies, you're like, look, I promise y'all, I want provolone. Don't give me no Kraft cheese. I want provolone, mustard, smoked Gouda. I like nice things.
Hey, y'all making a Starbucks run? Hey. They got pumpkin spice right now. So
go extra with everything.
So yeah, I mean, it's just like that, but that is the beauty of it. That is the whole way that all this stuff manifests or whatever. You're just appreciative, you keep your eyes open, and you don't take for granted no steps, no experiences, no nothing. Okay. Because you know that there are so many people that want to be in your shoes. There are so many people that want that job. So many people. So you don't show up. That's my thing though. When I show up to set and I just, like I said, I wrapped a job or whatever on Wednesday, and I observe and I listen, and you there's so many people that make such small things so trivial. And I and Patricia, and I were talking about that, the director, Patricia Cuffy-Jones, shout out Patricia. We had a conversation one morning. It's like, there's so many people that want to wake up and do what we do, that wish they could say that they had, were number one on the call sheet, or they were, the director or whatever, and that this blessing or whatever was upon them and they could take advantage of it. And they didn't have to worry about, my husband's not going to support me or be here. I can't work it out, whatever, in my schedule. We're healthy. We are blessed. We're in this position or whatever to make something that can touch somebody, something that is going to live beyond us. You know what I'm saying? God forbid, ain't nobody want to go tomorrow. Okay. But what I'm saying is that this work will always be here. When somebody down the line, John Singleton's work is always going to be there to create something that's going to be there through eternity. You know what I'm saying? That you really and truly are passionate and excited to do. And you're blessed or whatever to get up in the morning to go and come. Don't take none of that for granted. You coming on this set with an attitude, you coming up in here with a complaint, go.
Like, get that out of my space. Get out of my space.
Out of space.
And actually just get off the set. Just leave, cancel your day.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, this is such a blessing that is fallen unto us or whatever. And we owe it to him to make it manifest. We owe it to the people who hired us or whatever to breathe life into these characters and these people in a way that they were like, whoa, I didn't even see it being that way. I didn't even realize this damn script was that good. I didn't even have this take on stuff. You show them. You know what I'm saying? When you put your passion into something, you show people something that they never even knew was possible. Yep. And that's how you show up to work. to create, to motivate, to have some fun or whatever. And it's a blessing to do that. It's a blessing that God put all these things or whatever and manifested all this stuff that I never in a million years would have fathomed or whatever. Lucky, I'm blessed, you know? So I would be doing him a disservice to be around here negative, you know?
No,
this is a blessing. You know,
you keep taking me to church with this. You know, you making me think of that song my friend having, "We're blessed in the fields, we're blessed in the city." We're gonna do that late in the midnight hour. God's gonna turn it around.
If I could sing some Negro spirituals, I'd do them right now. Okay, but I don't want nobody.
He's gonna work in your face.
Bring Yolanda Adams when you need her. God dog it, I need.
But you know, what is the testament of not only that is then you started over and then you have to go, you know, to acting classes and everything, right? How did you feel with that transition? You know, especially because a couple months in, then a couple nearly a year later, then you're on, you know, Why'd I Get Married, Meet the Browns. How was that part of your life? And how did that happen? Like, you go to class, you're learning, you're going to auditions, and you're now like, oh shoot, you're in one of the iconic movies. We all know your character in there. And even then, you still come with that thing like, I'm with all these people who've been doing it forever. And I'm going, you know, how was that for you?
I really had no class training when that happened.
She said, Denise is going to be Denise right now. Look, okay? What's my line?
I mean, I'm being real. Like, I didn't go to Juilliard. I didn't do any of that stuff. People even today ask me, "Are you method?" I was like, "What method?" Like,
she said, "Are we talking about the same thing?" Because you want me talking
about, yeah, you know. But it's like for a while you feel like in order to be a real thespian, a real actor or whatever, you have to do those things or whatever. And I, thankfully, knocking on wood or whatever, have been able to kind of rely on instincts and my intuition. And I say this, there are two different worlds. Drama, you have to have empathy. You study, so you don't have to say, "What's my line?" You don't, no. You prepare, but you have to drop it all in order to have a conversation with that person that's across the room for you. So me, Miss Control or whatever, I had to put all that studying and stuff aside. And in order to give a genuine performance, all I can do is interact with the person that's across from me, right? When it comes to comedy, it's a science. Comedy is a rhythm. It's a beat. You know, whenever that person says something and that person, in order for you to be on beat or whatever with that other person or whatever, that's what I had to study for. That's what I had to study for. So why did I get married? That was the beauty of Tyler, in that he loves new faces. He loves to discover people, whether you got 2 things on your resume or 25, okay? He loves new talent. If he sees that you have potential, he gives you that opportunity in that platform. Why did I get married? Meet the Browns came a year and a half after I got here, okay? I auditioned for what I thought was Meet the Browns, okay? It was under, I think it was called Meet the Browns at the time. I think it was called Meet the Browns. But in that, he also offered me Why Did I Get Married? Why Did I Get Married is going to come first. I have a movie that's coming out and blah, blah, blah. So you're going to do that first.
Both at the same time.
And You Are My Sasha. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was like a year and a half after I got there. So chick didn't have no training. You know what I'm saying?
You came in confident, like, but I'm going to be here. I'm going to do this.
Tyler, he saw that I was new. He saw that I was green. He knew I didn't have no credits. You know what I'm saying? And according to my manager, he's like, "Girl, you an AARP actor up in here, because people get in this game when they 14 or younger or whatever, they're teens." He was like, "And that's late." He was like, "But here you coming, you know, after being in corporate America for several years or whatever." Like, "Oh my God, welcome to Hollywood." He was like, "Yeah, nah, dog, you late." But it was like, you have what it takes. Tyler said the same thing. You have something, and I'm going to help bring it out of you. He said, "If you trust me through this process, if you put your fears aside, okay, I know you freaked out or whatever because of these people that you have idolized or whatever since you were a kid. If you put that aside, I will help you succeed." That was it. That was it. And that's what I did. I came prepared or whatever, and I free fell or whatever according to his direction and had fun. When it came to Browns, like I said, there was a science. I got the training, okay, in order to make that happen. But it's just, like I said, you can't prepare for this. You can't, all you can do is go with the flow or whatever and say, thank you, Jesus, or whatever, that you've gotten that opportunity. But there's no rhyme or reason. There's no rhyme or reason to my trajectory or any other actors. Trust and believe, we are not going to have the same story. Everybody's is different. That's why there's no carbon copy. You can give people advice, but you kind of have to do your own, cut your own path or whatever, because everybody's path is different. What worked for me is not going to work for you. What worked for you is not going to work for me. You know what I'm saying? But when you got that positive light and that positive energy and appreciation or whatever, it grows, it manifests. Your good graces on set, how easy you're to work with, how much you come, prepared and ready to do your job. People talk. Black Hollywood is a very small place. Okay. And work begets work.
Yeah.
That's it.
Nice. I love that. I would love this. Go back to what we talked about. You say, you were pigeonholed a couple times because of that character that people saw you in. Is that kind of like that one? In some instances, that type of pigeonholing may for other people may be like, I don't ever want that. But then it's like sometimes that works in your favor, especially because the characters that come with that are, of a probably of an astuteness of a, you can play a doctor, or even let's take it back, and it shows that, how they say every actor has 6 degrees of separation to the different ones they can play. So you can still play that high class girlfriend or somebody who wants to be trophy wife, but then you can also play someone doctor, lawyer, DA. So it's like your 6 degrees is real. A lot of people would love to be in because that means there are how many scripts that, and it doesn't have to say Black woman on there. It can be that, and then they can just still give you the role. You know what I mean? So that's just my way of saying, it's just a testament of how you present yourself and how you brought yourself to, Hollywood, Black Hollywood, and been able to be on Young and the Restless to voiceover things on, with the DC universe. So it's just that's just amazing.
I don't turn nothing down. Even if it's I've never done that before, I'm like, yes, I do it today. Yes, I do it today.
We're gonna try it out.
I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna have to send my Black ass home if I can't. But yeah, I'm just like, okay, ain't nothing but getting out of your comfort zone. You know what? I'll give you a very fun story. Okay. And if you're like, this was not worth it, okay, well, that's on you. But anyway, okay, so going back. So going back to I love to tell this story. So when I auditioned for Meet the Browns, I went into the room. I immediately got a young man standing up and giving me a shake and saying, "You are my Sasha Brown, so thank you so much." And on the spot, got the role, right? I crumpled to my knees and I'm like, "Oh, mama's gonna be so happy." He's like, get up, baby. You okay? Just get on up, dry your tears, because I got a whole group of girls out there that are coming in here for that role that you already have. So dry your eyes, pull it together, okay? And I will see you in a couple months. Okay. Sorry, hold on.
Problem.
Ready.
Got water.
Water. So I get into my little Jeep Liberty and I call my manager, like, oh my God. I was like, the guy that was in there, he told me I had the role. He's like, what? I was like, yes, he gave it to me on the spot. I was like, I don't know though. I was like, of course, Tyler has to prove it, but I don't know. That's what he said. He was like, oh my God. He was like, okay, I'm going to call the casting director. I'm going to call Kim or whatever and see when a final decision will be made. Like, when will Tyler actually give the final verdict? I was like, I don't know. I was like, but he told me I had it. I hope I still have it. My manager calls me back within the hour. He's just like, well, no, not within the hours, because they were still casting. They were doing all these castings. When I walked out of that room, let me go back though. When I walked out of that room, I still was trying to pull it together. And one of the guys or whatever there to audition for one of the other roles was just like, hey, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. And I could not help myself. I was like, he told me I got it. He was just like, what do you mean? He's like, they told me I got the role. He's like, oh my God. He was like, well, congratulations. He was like, baby, it's okay. He was like, John, gave me a warm hug. I left.
Oh, wow.
Needless to say, the man who shook my hand and gave me the role was Tyler Perry. I had no idea it was Tyler because I'd only seen him as Medea.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea. I'm here asking my manager, oh my God, I hope Tyler approves. That was Tyler, okay? But I didn't know, because think about it. Let's go way back when, in the beginning, when Tyler was making that transition from the stage plays to the shows, he had House of Pain. That was it. Okay. So I didn't really see Tyler doing all these interviews or whatever as himself. I just knew him from stage as Medea. So I didn't realize that was Tyler. The other part is the guy that gave me the hug or whatever was like, baby, pull it together. That was Lamont. Who would then play
Wow.
who would then play my husband on Meet the Browns. So you see what I'm saying? Like, when I'm telling you, the Lord just kind of throws little ting, you're just like, and I was like, what? Like, this makes no sense. It really makes no sense, but it does. You know what I'm saying? When you're open and you're just kind of going with the flow or whatever, things just happen. When you take time to notice that he's talking to you, things happen. You know what I'm saying? You may not know why. Okay. You may not know why these things are happening, but you take time or whatever to take note of it. Be like, there's a reason why this keeps on happening. There's a reason why this feels so good. You know what I'm saying? When you start doing that, then you start kind of putting things together and connecting the dots and letting him do his job and just saying yes. You know, this is what you have planned for me. It may not be comfortable right now, voiceover. It may not be comfortable right now, playing the battered wife. Yeah. It may not feel comfortable right now. You know, can I pull this off? I've never cried on camera before. Can I do this? Well, if he's presented it to you and put it in your lap, you got to believe that it is time. Nice. He set it up to where this is when you're prepared and this is ready for this blessing. That's why you don't force stuff. Yeah. That's why you're not like, oh my God, I want this role. I want this. A lot of times he's saving us from ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these things present themselves when you have the faculties or whatever to make it manifest, so that you don't create blackmail material, which I do have in a vampire movie where I'm a vampire with a lisp because my fake teeth did not fit.
I want to be conscious of your time, so I got two things I want to touch on before we end. You know, I want to make sure, because I feel like I could talk to you all day and we can just laugh and then get cocktails on here. But one, I would love to talk about at the end of this, just about your recent projects and everything, because you know this is just give people a sense of who you are, your personality. So I love this. Thank you so much for this part opportunity. But have you ever had any projects where you knew it was like, no, this is not it for me, this is like, I have my boundaries? Like, how were you able to have discernment between uncomfort and discomfort? You know, like, this is an uncomfortable situation, so I know I'm supposed to take it, but this is one that's like, you know, discomforting, and it's not going with my spirit.
Right. And it's over like nudity, you know what I'm saying? Nudity, or just showing some parts. I'm like, yeah, I don't do that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that has been easy, you know what I'm saying? Because I know what my boundaries are. I know how far I'm willing to go. So there's been several times, you know, that I've passed on those, some of which would have been very nice in the bank account, which is just like, I can't, yeah. You know, I could tell you several right now, well, two that were very successful, you know what I'm saying? That they got some really great talent or whatever to do that I was in the running to get. Wow. And it probably would have been a game changer. I mean, honestly and truly, if I'm going to be honest, it would have put me in a different rank, in a different league or whatever. At least one of these definitely would have done that. But I have no qualms about it. You know what I'm saying? I just know what my standards are. I know what I am okay with my daughter seeing one day. I know I'm okay with my husband possibly seeing one day. There's certain things I'm not willing to compromise. And that's all there is to it. You know, whatever has been missed or whatever, I don't consider it a missing. It's just like, that wasn't for me, you know? But my husband and I, we don't watch none of that stuff. Like, he knows what I do for a living. You know, I don't care if it's kissing another dude or anything. We don't watch it. You know what I'm saying? I don't watch anything I'm in, by the way.
Oh, really?
Unless I have to.
Why not? Why, you don't want to see, you never watch anything you're in? Like, are you serious? Never?
I probably shouldn't have admitted that, but no, I don't.
This was the thing. You're like, why not say that right now? Like, directors, I ain't watching that.
No, I don't. I don't, because unless I have to, I did a premiere. Actually, now the premieres are coming back. I did a premiere or whatever for a movie that I did, And I was literally cringing in the seat like this the entire time. Because it's like here's what I say. When the director says moving on, cut, moving on, if I felt good about it and they felt good enough about it to move on, I feel that I've done my job. I'm happy about my performance. I don't have to see the finished product. If I know I dropped the mic on it, I'm good. Okay. So I know that I can be proud of whatever it became. Mm-hmm. I study, I question. I'm like, ooh, that choice. I could have done this. Oh, this delivery, blah, blah, blah. It's like a scientist or whatever going back into the lab and reconsidering everything or whatever that he mixed together. I don't like it. It's like studying. It's like going to school. And to me, it's like picking little things or whatever apart. And I just personally, I don't like seeing myself on screen. I just don't. So if I can avoid it, I will not watch it as much as possible. But sometimes you have to, like, you have no choice. You know what I'm saying? But I like to hear audience respond, like, oh, girl, you did that. Oh, girl, so I'm thinking to myself, all right, okay. As long as people loving it, that's all that I care. That's all that I care. So
I love that. I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah. So here you go. Truth Time confessional or whatever. Full disclosure. I don't watch.
Well, look, we got it. The Official Black Magazine got the first truth.
You got the first.
We got the first exclusive. Look,
you got the first exclusive.
Headlines. You'll be like tomorrow, Mike, why'd you do that? Like, are you seriously, Mike? Out of everything I said, God led my path, but you want to leave with, I don't watch.
That's it. But no, I mean, there's a lot of people that are like that, though. I heard like Nicole Kidman, like there's people that do not watch their work at all. You feel good about it in the moment, and that's that or whatever, because it's too, you just pick yourself apart.
Yeah, no, definitely. Before we end, tell us about these recent projects. There are several of them out there and several in the works. And, can you tell us about that real quick, just to let our viewers know what's going on with you?
Okay, so the one that is on BT Plus that's doing kick-ass is, what do you call it? The Missing. Mm-hmm. So that one I did back in March with the same director that I just wrapped this film last week with or whatever, Patricia Cuffy Jones. She is phenomenal. We did that in March, and now we kicked off BT Shocktober is what they're calling it. And so that was originally on BET Plus. It is still on BET Plus, but it's called The Missing. And so not this past Saturday, but the one before, we kicked things off or whatever with that. I also, like I said, got one in the can or whatever. That one's going to be called Game of Deceit. Game of Deceit is what they renamed it or whatever. It was originally called The Nanny, but then they flipped it. I got a Christmas movie that's coming out on TV One. I don't know if it's December 6th or 8th. That's coming out. That's called Christmas with My Ex. That's coming out. Basically a very interesting character in that one. And then there is, of course, Young and the Restless. Young and the Restless is on or whatever, CBS. That's happening now. We're going to see what Amani does next. I'm kind of scared or whatever, because they're writing the new stuff now. So she a little hot live wire dude. So I'm excited. I'm excited about that one. It's a new world. Daytime is a whole other world. Okay, whole other world. And I'm just happy that the fans responded in a positive way, because I think that they were waiting to see how folks received me or whatever. And that's why they're writing some more stuff. And she's gonna come back and slither into people's relationships. She's trifling, and I love it. And that's just of it for now. There's other stuff or whatever on deck or whatever, but I don't start that project until February of next year. So I always like to have some irons on the fire. Oh, and then I leave next week. I leave in 2 weeks to go to Atlanta, because I'm filming another film for you guys or whatever. Another one that's going to be on Lifetime. It's going to be a Lifetime movie.
The headline of this is one of the busiest women in Hollywood right now. That's what the headline is.
I mean, look, again, it ain't got nothing to do with me. You go out, you give good work with good people, and it manifests itself. So that's it. I ain't got nothing to do with it. The Lord say, go to do this. And I'm like, okay, cool. You go do it. Okay. It's just like, is what it is what it is. But I'm very, very blessed. I do not take that for granted at all.
Well, no problem. Well, thank you so much, Denise. This has been wonderful. I hope you enjoyed yourself with me. I have, and I'm glad to learn more about you, your story, your journey, and I'm happy everyone else will as well too.
Thank you. Well, this was a testament to the
Yeah.
fact that I can communicate and I like talking. So thank you so much.